Namaskar, welcome viewers. You're watching Sansad TV's live broadcast at 9 p.m. and this is the news with me, Bhawna Nayar. Before we take a detailed look at the top stories of the day, here are the top headlines this Tuesday evening. Heavy rains in many states including Gujarat, Telangana and Maharashtra. High tide alert in Mumbai. Prime Minister inaugurates project worth 16,800 crores in Devghar. Tourism to get boost from the new airport. Prime Minister addresses centenary celebrations of Bihar Legislative Assembly, calls on legislators to work in the interest of the country by rising above political considerations. Improved performance in manufacturing, power and mining sectors, production up 19.6% in May, mining output up 10.9%, power generation by 23.5%. And clashes inside Sri Lanka's Prime Minister's residence. 10 people injured. Petition filed to impose travel ban on Rajapaksa's brothers. And let us now look at some more important news of the day in our Flash News segment. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to take part in the first I2U2 Leaders Virtual Summit on Thursday. Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid, UAE President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and US President Joe Biden to also take part. ED issues fresh summons to Congress President Sonia Gandhi for questioning on July 21st on the National Herald case. Gandhi had earlier sought postponement citing recovery from the COVID-19. Union Minister Prahlad Joshi inaugurates 6th National Conclave on Mines and Minerals, emphasizes self-reliance in mining sector. 60 startups registered with ISRO since unlocking of Indian space sector, says Union Minister of State for Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh, many related to space debris management. Government to launch Har Ghar Tiranga campaign to inspire people to hoist national flag to mark 75th Independence Day, initiative taken under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres welcomes legal framework for protection of children in India, praises improvements in access to child protection services in several states. Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan to release India Ranking 2022 under National Institute Ranking Framework on 15th July. Rankings based on various categories and subject domains, says Education Minister. Torrential rain and cloudburst in Pakistan killed 68 people in Karachi city and neighbouring Balochistan province. US rejects Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's request for a visa. Gotabaya is formerly a dual citizen of Sri Lanka and the United States gave up American citizenship ahead of the 2019 elections. And biggest moon of the year to be visible on Wednesday, the supermoon, also known as Buck Moon, is happening around the same time when the sun is farthest from the planet due to a phenomenon called aphelion. And now news in detail. Development of states will lead to development of nation as a whole, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said on Tuesday. He stated that the government has been working on this for the past 8 years. Prime Minister Modi was inaugurating various developmental projects worth 16,800 crore rupees. They include 657-acre Devghar Airport constructed at a cost of 401 crore rupees. This is Jharkhand's second airport after Ranchi. He asserted that the new initiatives would go a long way in boosting development in eastern India. They will also give a huge impetus to the state's modern connectivity, energy, health, faith and tourism, Prime Minister added.
इन प्रोजेक्ट से झारखंड के लाखों लोगों का जीवन तो आसान होगा ही, व्यापार कारोबार के लिए, टूरिज्म के लिए, रोजगार स्वरोजगार के लिए भी अनेक नए अवसर बनेंगे.
Moving on, incessant heavy rainfall has spelled chaos in several parts of Gujarat. 6 people died in rain-related incidents in the last 24 hours, raising the toll to 69 since the 1st of June. Over 27,000 people have been evacuated. Rail and road traffic have been badly hit due to waterlogging. In South Gujarat, Dang, Navsari, Tapi and Valsad districts were badly affected. In central Gujarat, the situation remained grim in Panchmahal, Chota Udaipur and Kheda. Rajkot and Ahmedabad are also reeling under flood-like situation as rains continue to lash the state. The weather department has issued a red alert in 13 districts till Wednesday.
राजकोट की बात करें तो भादर, फोफल, अजी और न्यारी 4 डैम फुल हो गया है और शटर्स भी ओपन करके हमने ओवरफ्लो एरियाज़ में भी चालू कर दिया। हर एक जगह पे शटर खोलने से 5 घंटे पहले से हमारी टीम्स, तलाटीज़ की टीम, सरपंचों की टीम जाके उनकी अनाउंसमेंट भी करती है, साथ में पुलिस पेट्रोलिंग की गाड़ी भी रखी है।
Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel conducted an aerial survey of the rain-hit Budeli town in Chota Udaipur district. And more news on monsoon mayhem hitting various parts of the country. Heavy rains have claimed 83 lives in Maharashtra since 1st of June. Many villages in Gadchiroli, Nandurbar and suburban areas of Mumbai have been hit by floods. Traffic was closed after floods in Chiplon town in Ratnagiri district. 13 teams of NDRF and 3 teams of SDRFs have been deployed in the troubled districts. The Meteorological Department has issued a red alert for many districts till July 14th. In Mumbai and its suburbs, traffic was affected by waterlogging at many places. Local train services have been affected. The Weather Department has issued an orange alert for the next 2 days. The gates of Pune's Khadakwasla Dam were opened after the water level reached danger mark. Many low-lying areas are submerged. Water is also filling in the reservoirs of Nizamabad, Telangana. After an increase in the water level, the Sri Ram Sagar project dam gates have been opened. Moving on, Shiv Sena President Uddhav Thackeray has announced his party support for NDA's presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu.
कि सारे लोग अगर प्यार से मुझे कुछ कह रहे हैं तो उनकी भावनाओं का आदर करना चाहिए और उस भावना का आदर करते हुए आज मैं जाहिर करता हूं कि आने वाले इस राष्ट्रपति या राष्ट्राध्यक्ष चुनाव के लिए शिवसेना द्रौपदी जी को हमारा अपना समर्थन दे रही है.
And more news now from across the nation. Ahead of the monsoon session of Parliament, the government has called an all-party meeting on 17th July at 11 a.m. Monsoon session is scheduled to start from 18th July and will continue till 12th August. It will have 18 sittings over a total period of 26 days. This session will also see presidential and vice-presidential election. Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia has announced 14 new air routes and 3 more airports for Jharkhand. He said after Ranchi and Devghar airports, new airports will be set up at Bokaro, Jamshedpur and Dumka. NDA's presidential nominee Draupadi Murmu met BJP MPs and MLAs from West Bengal on Tuesday to seek their support for the election on 18 July. She held a meeting with around 65 MLAs and 16 MPs of the BJP where they assured her of their support. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has said that India is among the fastest growing economy in the world. Addressing the 6th National Conclave on Mines and Minerals in New Delhi, he said that reforms in the mining sector have led to higher production of minerals in the country. He also said that transparency in the auctioning of mines has ended corruption. In Jammu and Kashmir, Amarnath Yatra resumed from the Baltal route on Tuesday with 7,000 yatris leaving Baltal base camp from the Holy Cave Shrine. The yatra was restarted yesterday from the Pahalgam route after being suspended due to a cloudburst near the Holy Cave Shrine on Friday. Now let us take a look at some more important stories from the business and economy sector. Union Mines Minister Prahlad Joshi has called sustainable mining the need of the hour. He was inaugurating the 6th National Conference on Mines and Minerals in Delhi. Joshi said that under the Prime Minister's leadership, development of the mineral mining sector has reached its peak. He said the government has made many changes in mining policies after receiving suggestions from various stakeholders. Union Home Minister Amit Shah also addressed the occasion.
दुनिया में सबसे तेजी से बढ़ने वाली अर्थव्यवस्था है। 2022 में 8.2% की दर के साथ हम दुनिया में सबसे स्पीड से ग्रोथ करने वाले देश बनकर।
India saw industrial production surge nearly 20% in May, with manufacturing, power and mining sectors leading the growth. Factory output, which is measured in terms of Index of Industrial Production, that is IIP, saw a growth of 27.6% in May 2022. The government said the growth figures must be considered in the context of economic recovery after the COVID-19 pandemic. Retail inflation was 7.01% in June. It was the sixth straight month that the RBI has crossed its mandate of keeping it within its 4% limits with 2% margin. RBI Governor Shaktikant Das said that the markets are edgy as the global geopolitical situation continues to be fluid. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman assured that the government is mindful of the rising inflation and taking all possible measures to keep it under check. She also said that a good monsoon will favor rise in production and rural demand. In a path-breaking measure, SEBI will soon come out with risk factor disclosures on market trends to guide investors to make right decisions. SEBI's guided datasets armed with AI and latest technologies are expected to help investors in routing their finances in appropriate segments. Recent months have seen volatility in the futures and options segment of the capital market, as well as recent investor losses in the IPO segment. As the euro hit a 20-year low to reach partly with the US dollar, American companies feared a loss of business as their goods become more expensive for foreign buyers. This will also give foreign products a price edge in the US. The euro is now worth just under $1.02. Experts say the impact of Russia-Ukraine war is clearly being felt by the European economy as fears of recession affect the countries using the euro. Benchmark BSE Sensex dropped 500 points following global trends, with most stocks barring NTPC, Bajaj Finance and Bharti Airtel losing close to 2.5%. Following its Q, NSE 50 also slipped about 138 points or 0.58%. Markets in US, Europe and elsewhere in Asia also saw a drop ranging between 1 to 2%. Global trading hotspots, Hong Kong and Taiwan, saw a sharp decline of 1.4 and 2.7% respectively. Stocks of Twitter fell nearly 9% following Elon Musk's announcement of withdrawal from the buyout plan. Slipping into a short break here, but on the other side, NASA unveils images of capturing the deepest view of the cosmos going back 13 billion years. All this and much more after this short break. You stay tuned to Sansad TV. Welcome back after the break. You're watching the news, and time now for all the big developments from the Russia-Ukraine war front. Russian forces shelled the southern Ukrainian city of Mykolaiv on Tuesday. 2 medical facilities and residential buildings have been hit in the airstrike. 12 people were injured in the attack. Russian troops continue to make small incremental gains in the Donetsk region of the Donbass, UK's Ministry of Defense said on Tuesday. Russia has also claimed to have seized control of the town of Ryhorivka. Ukraine's armed forces said that the Russian forces are using tanks, cannon and artillery to pound various settlements in eastern Ukraine. The death toll in Russia's rocket attack on the town of Chasev Yar has risen to 34. 9 people have been rescued from under the rubble. The rescue work is underway. Russian missiles had hit a 5-story apartment block in a Donetsk region in Chasev Yar on Saturday. A Russian ammunition depot was apparently targeted by Ukrainian forces overnight, resulting in a massive blast. The Ukrainian military said that the rocket strike targeted the depot in Russian-held Nova Kakhovka near the Black Sea port city in Kherson, which is occupied by Russian forces. Moscow state news agency said that at least 7 people have been killed and 40 injured in the air raid. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that Europe needs to prepare for the possibility that Russia cuts off gas supplies. Earlier, Russia suspended deliveries of gas to Germany via the Nord Stream 1 pipeline for annual summer maintenance. However, there are fears that Russia could further delay gas supplies to Germany. Zelensky said that Russia will try not only to limit as much as possible, but also to completely stop the supply of gas to Europe. Ukraine is getting an additional aid worth $1.7 billion from the US government and the World Bank. This will help Ukraine to pay the salaries of the beleaguered healthcare workers and provide other essential services. To date, US aid has given $4 billion in budgetary support to Ukrainian government. Moving on, Russian President Vladimir Putin will visit Iran next week, the Kremlin said on Tuesday. During his trip, Putin will attend a trilateral meeting with the leaders of Iran and Turkey. Putin will also hold a separate meeting with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. The visit has been announced a day after the US warned that Russia is turning to Iran to provide Moscow with hundreds of drones for its war in Ukraine. US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said that US has information that indicates Iran is preparing to train Russian forces to use them as soon as this month. And time now for some other global updates. Amit reports that the United States has rejected Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's request for a visa. Hundreds of Sri Lankan are flocking the presidential palace after protesters vandalized it in a show of unprecedented rage on Saturday. Many are travelling on overcrowded trains and buses from outside the capital, Colombo, to look at the paintings and lounge on the beds piled up high with pillows. Take a look.
The Sri Lankan president is not at home. He hasn't been seen or heard in public. But his palace is getting a lot of visitors. People are streaming in, flocking to it like a tourist attraction. On Saturday, the colonial-era structure was the object of public rage. Thousands of Sri Lankans descended on the airy verandas, plush living rooms and spacious bedrooms in fury. Turning over barriers, they swarmed the lawns to occupy the palatial residence, protesting against President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, the man they blame for the unprecedented economic meltdown in the country.
පාර්ලිමේන්තුව ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරලා ඉවරයි 225 මත 22යි දැන් ජනතාව තීන්දුවක් ගනි තමන්ගේ අගමැති කවුද තමන් පාර්ලිමේන්තුව යවන්නේ කවුද ඒක ඒගොල්ලෝ ඉස්සරහට තීරණය කරන කාරණාව මොකද පාර්ලිමේන්තුව ඉන්න එකට මේලා තීරණය කරන්නේ මොකද.
The weekend saw the protesters also storming the Prime Minister's official residence and setting fire to his private home. The charged events led to both Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe saying they will step down. But protest leaders say they will not leave the official buildings until both actually resign. Sri Lanka announced in April that it was suspending repayment of foreign loans due to a foreign currency shortage. Its total foreign debt amounts to $51 billion, of which it must repay $28 billion by the end of 2027. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
Moving on to our next story, the hearse carrying assassinated former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's body drove through downtown Tokyo in a final farewell to the country's longest-serving premier on Tuesday, following a private funeral ceremony.
Japan bid final goodbye to former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe on Tuesday after a family funeral at a temple. Abe, the country's longest-serving Prime Minister, was gunned down on Friday during a campaign speech in the western city of Nara. Hundreds of people, some in formal dark suits, filled sidewalks outside Zojoji Temple in downtown Tokyo to bid farewell to Abe. Mourners took photos and some called out Abe-san as a motorcade with the hearse carrying his body, accompanied by his widow Aki Abe, slowly drove by the packed crowd. About 1,000 people, including Prime Minister Fumio Kishida and senior party leaders, as well as foreign officials, attended the funeral at the temple. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
And US President Joe Biden on Monday revealed the first image from NASA's new space telescope, the deepest view of the cosmos ever captured. The first image from the $10 billion James Webb Space Telescope shows the farthest that humanity has ever seen in both time and distance, closer to the dawn of the universe and the edge of the cosmos. Watch these deepest images of our universe in this report.
It is the clearest image to date of the early universe, going back 13 billion years. The stunning shot was released in a White House briefing by President Joe Biden. It overflows with thousands of galaxies. The James Webb Space Telescope captured a patch of the sky, roughly the size of a grain of sand, held at arm's length by someone standing on Earth. The image is a precursor to a larger unveiling by NASA. On Tuesday, NASA will release 4 more galactic beauty shots by the telescope. US President Joe Biden called the unveiling a historic day.
6.5 months ago, a rocket launched from Earth, carrying the world's newest, most powerful deep space telescope on a journey 1 million miles into the cosmos. First of all, that blows my mind. 1 million miles into the cosmos. Along the way, unfolding itself, deploying a mirror 21 feet wide, a sun shield the size of a tennis court, and 250,000 tiny shutters, each one smaller than a grain of sand. Put together, it's a new window into the history of our universe.
The images that NASA will release on Tuesday will include a giant gaseous planet outside our solar system, 2 images of a nebula where stars are born and die in spectacular beauty, and 5 tightly clustered galaxies that dance around each other. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
And after those spectacular images from the universe, let's now take a look what's happening in the world of sports. Starting with hockey, skipper Savita starred in front of the goal as India defeated Canada 3-2 in the shootout after both teams were tied 1-1 at the end of the regulation time in their classification match of the FIH Women's Hockey World Cup. Medulin Seko handed Canada the lead before Salima Tete equalized for India in the 58th minute. In tennis now, Roger Federer has dropped out of the ATP ranking for the first time in 25 years as the latest ranking came out. The ATP rankings take into account points accrued from the previous 52 weeks, and since Federer has not played any tennis since last year's Wimbledon, he is now unranked. Jasprit Bumrah had his career best ODI figures of 6 for 19 in the Oval one-day played in London. India skittled England for only 110 in mere 25.2 overs. Amidst widespread debate on his form, Virat Kohli is not playing in the first ODI against England. Kohli has a groin niggle and has not been considered for today's match. Off-spinning all-rounder Snehir Rana has made a comeback to the national side, finding a place in India's 15-member squad for the Commonwealth Games starting July 29 in Birmingham. And that's all we have in today's news. For more updates, keep watching Sansad TV. Till then, goodbye, namaskar.